Caithness has had fewer witches than many other areas of Scotland, but one of the most famous was born in the county. She was Janet Horne, known as Jenny, and was the last witch to be legally executed for witchcraft in the UK. Jenny, which was possibly not her real name, as Jenny Horne was a generic name given to women accused of witchcraft, was born at the burn of Halkirk in the latter part of the 17th century. She was a gentlewoman by all accounts, and was asked by Lady Sinclair of Dun to be her lady's maid while she travelled through the Holy Lands. Well educated for the time, Jenny kept a journal about their travels. She wrote of how they spent 2 months in Jerusalem and visited Mecca before embarking for Rome. It was said that during her time in Rome, she became interested in the dark arts and for 3 months studied it under Professor Anderson. On her return to Caithness, it was claimed she could converse with the fairy folk. Jenny moved to Dornoch, where her reputation was well known as a spaewife. One day, a young man and his lover went to see her, as the young woman had been accused of stealing her mistress's ring. Jenny asked her for her apron and left. The young man, curious to see what she would do, followed her. Soon after, a spirit appeared to Jenny, and it asked her what it could do for her. Jenny asked about the ring, and the spirit told her it would be found on the hillock behind the house. The price for this information was the first fill in the apron. On her return, she told the couple where the ring was, and they set out the following day with the mistress and duly found it. The young man left them alone and decided to tie the apron round a tree. The next day, the tree had been uprooted. On another occasion, Jenny was called to a farm at Shoorery, where plague had besieged the cattle. According to tradition, she had a secret mirror and used that to scare away the evil parties. The cows became healthy and were never struck down by the illness again. Once she was staying at Dunbeath, and a young girl was staying with her. As the girl stirred the porridge pot, she amused herself by getting a dog to jump through a ring very close to it. This was witnessed by a man named Gunn, who was unhappy seeing this, and called the girl a name. Angrily, Jenny decided to teach him a lesson. The boat he went out on that day caught no fish, while the others came back in laden. Eventually he went to his master and relayed the story, and he told him to go back to Jenny and apologise. When he did so, she gave him a piece of red thread to tie to the nets, and that night his boat was overflowing with fish. He never again made her angry. However, all these deeds and others beside were to see her downfall. In Dornoch in 1727, her neighbours accused her of witchcraft, and both she and her daughter were arrested. Her daughter had deformed hands and feet, and the neighbours told the authorities that Jenny used her as a pony to ride to the devil, who'd shod her. The trial was a swift one. Captain David Ross, the Sheriff Depute of Sutherland, found both of them guilty and sentenced them to death by burning at the stake. By this time, Jenny was showing signs of senility and was confused at the proceedings. She was stripped, blackened with tar, and paraded through the town in a barrel. It's said she warmed herself by the very fire that would kill her, saying, "What a bonny blaze." Her daughter, however, was freed. What was unusual about this case was that witches were usually strangled first before being burned, but it seems Jenny was actually burned alive. At Littletown in Dornoch stands a stone said to be the spot where Jenny Horne, the last witch executed in Scotland, met her end. Nine years later, the Witchcraft Acts were repealed in Scotland. Elizabeth Levison Sutherland Gower, later the Countess of Sutherland, and daughter of William Sutherland, the 18th Earl of Sutherland, wrote a letter about Jenny Horne to Sir Walter Scott, retelling the tale, and explaining that Jenny's daughter had had a son who was now working on the Sutherland estate. She informed him that he too had the hand deformity. In March 2022, the then First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, issued a posthumous formal apology to all those who died during the witch hunts, stating it was an injustice on a colossal scale. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.